It's time for another installment of Flashpoint. This week, Eric Von Aken talks with an expert panel about water safety.
Good morning to you. I'm Eric Von Aken. Thanks for being with us this morning. Whether it's in a pool or in one of Florida's natural wonders, being able to swim practically year-round is a luxury, of course, in the Sunshine State, right? So once again, one partnership is working to get results and make sure that kids and their families stay safe around the water. I want to welcome back some of our favorite guests here. So we have Tony Caruso, who's president of the Florida Spa and Pool Association.
Florida Swimming Pool Association, Central Florida.
And also owner of TC Water Features. You build pools, Tony.
That's correct.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here.
And we know Rowdy Gaines, who might be a little bit more famous than you. So Rowdy is a three-time Olympic gold medalist in swimming. Of course, we saw you, by the way. You were commentating the Olympics last time around. Rowdy, you're also a Hall of Famer, and importantly here, you're VP of Aquatics at the YMCA. And that's the reason that we're getting you back together this morning, because we want to talk about that. So last year when we had you on, you were talking about the donation that the Florida Spa Pool Association gave to the YMCA, and it enabled thousands of kids to swim. This year, it's even bigger, and it's enabling more kids. Tell me about that.
Well, one of the things that we in the association try to do is, you know, give swimming lessons to kids. The safer we can make kids in swimming pools, the safer we have, the less traumatic news we hear. You know, Rowdy will be the first one to tell you that he gets emails or text messages consistently about, you know, drownings in the country. Not so much Florida.
Sadly, we
cover it. I mean, drowning in swimming pools is very low on the list. You don't hear of someone drowning in a bathtub. You hear about drowning in a swimming pool. Right. So what the organization, our organization does, Central Florida chapter, you know, partnered up with the YMCA. I mean, this is huge. If we can make a difference in anyone's life by getting swimming lessons to kids, you know, those are potential, you know, swimming pool owners if we want to think about it. But if you don't know how to swim, the YMCA is a great place to go and learn how to swim. And what a great program with the YMCA.
And you guys are making that happen again this year?
We're making it happen again this year.
Yeah, we have Safety Around the Water Week, which is going to be April 24th through the 27th, the last week of April, Monday through Thursday in the afternoon. And it's free swim lessons at almost all of our Ys across our association. So Eric, I think it's one of the things that Tony and Tony has so much passion, but we really want to kind of preach that message that swim lessons save lives. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's been proven if you take a swim lesson or you take swim lessons, it reduces that risk of drowning by almost 90%. So we found the cure, and drowning is an epidemic, as Tony and I both know, and you've reported on.
Especially here in Florida, yeah.
And so we want to try to change that. And Central Florida, Florida is the leading state in the country in drownings, and when you're talking about 70% of African Americans don't know how to swim. 60% of Hispanic children don't know how to swim. But it's not just a minority problem. You're talking about Caucasian children. 40% of Caucasian children don't know how to swim. So it's important. If we lived in Montana, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But like you said, we live in Florida.
You guys know I have two little kids. The first thing we did when the kids were old enough, and I want to say barely old enough, I mean, I think they were less than a year, we put them in something called ISR, Infant Swim Rescue, which is basically where they learn how to float, and then we got them into swim lessons because of exactly what you're talking about. You guys are doing that this year with a minimum of 7,000 kids through the YMCA. Tell me.
That's the goal. I mean, fortunately, through FSPA and, you know, our local operators and owners of McDonald's who have been tremendous supporters over the last year or so, we're able to have the money to be able to do that because it costs money. Yeah. And we want to try to reach as many children as possible. So I think Tony was really cool after last year, after we hit about 4,500.
He's still cool.
We have to do a lot more, dude. Okay, let's do more. Let's do more. And so, you know, with him and his organization getting behind it, I think we're going to be able to do a lot more.
And the money is $10,000 from the association.
Well, the association put up another $10,000, and of course we've got some bigger sponsors that put up even more, but they're much bigger organizations. But to put up to $10,000 in conjunction with McDonald's and all the other sponsors, I mean, the blessing is. The traumatic day is when you get the traumatic news that something traumatic happened in your life or a friend's life or surrounding. And this goal here is to make a difference in people's lives. And that's what the Central Florida chapter does. That's what the Florida Swimming Pool Association does in general, is bring safety to consumers and awareness. Now,
Yeah.
Our association is going to have 2,000 water watcher badges brought up here. We're going to bring them to the YMCA's, and we're going to pass those out. And on those water watcher badges, they're actually lanyards that you wear that give tips, and I mean common sense tips. Like, if you're out by the swimming pool, put the book down.
Yeah.
Bring
Put the phone down.
Yeah. Well, bring the phone
and look, I'm guilty of this.
Bring the phone to the pool.
We all are,
Yeah.
Eric. I mean, the parent has to be that first line of defense because if they're not, it really can become a very dangerous situation. So it's really important that the distractions are kept to a minimum. We know there are always going to be distractions when you're watching children, but most drownings, 90% of drownings happen with adult supervision.
Yeah.
So most of the drownings happen when somebody's watching your child.
So we're going to talk about how we're going to prevent this. We're going to talk about what these kids will learn, and adults too, if they take advantage of these lessons, and also when people can take advantage of all of this. That's right after the break. When we come back with Tony Caruso and Rowdy Gaines, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Flashpoint. I'm Eric Von Eichen, talking with our special guest here, Tony Caruso of the Florida Swimming Pool Association, and Rowdy Gaines, 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Thanks again for joining us this morning, gentlemen.
Tony.
So right in the middle of the conversation here, Tony, you said something that I think is really critical and everybody needs to hear. There is a cure for drowning. There's a cure. It's simple.
2 words. What are they, Rowdy?
Well, they're easy to learn, but they're much tougher to actually implement, and it's swim lessons, Eric.
Yeah.
I know that we have talked a lot about how important it is that you get your child involved with swim lessons, because it is the second leading cause of accidental death in children 14 years of age and younger. And 4 years of age and younger, it's the leading cause of accidental death.
And get your kid involved with someone who knows swimming, who can teach it, an instructor, right?
Well, I've always felt that you were born to swim. I mean, you really were. I mean,
well, for sure, Rowdy was.
Well, yeah, he was definitely born to swim. But we're born to swim. All we have to do in time, and 6 months is probably about the earliest age you want to get into a pool. And maybe you have a different opinion, but I think 6 months is about where you want to start. But you know, kids float very well, by the way. We just have to teach them the do's and don'ts, and through repetition, you know, it becomes a comfort level, not for the parents to walk away, but a comfort level for the kid to be in the water. And swimming is an amazing physical, no impact sport. And Rowdy, you kind of agree with that. I mean, if you have an injury, what a great way to go out and rehab yourself in the pool water. I mean, great for knees, great for shoulders, great for backs. Swimming pools are a lot of fun. There are memories to be made. You know, when I moved to Florida in 1967, I didn't know how to swim. You know, I can't honestly tell you, did my parents teach me how to swim? The answer is no. You know, we just did it the old way. We jumped in the pool and, you know, learned how to swim. But today, in technology and the availability with amazing programs from the YMCA, they teach you how to swim. That's what the Y does. They teach you water activities, water sports.
I think we invented swimming. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I think you invented swimming. You know, water responsibility, you know, things that you can and can't do. I always tell the story. I went to the world's largest swim lesson about 4 years ago. We were down at one of the big pools, and what are the parents doing? They're sitting at the tables talking on iPads and having a conversation. What's the kids doing? Mom, pay attention. Mom has nothing to do. She's not paying attention. We have to pay attention to the kids. So I walked over to the lady and said, please, pay attention to the kids. They need that, and you need that. You talked about it earlier, is people being in the pool, and no one really realizes what happened. You have to focus on what happens in the pool, know who's in there.
Okay, before we run out of time, I want to make sure everyone knows how to take advantage of these swim lessons. So again, the big news this morning is as many as 7,000 swim lessons for kids.
All free.
All
the swim lessons all week long, ages 4 to 12, at all of our YMCA's across our association. All you have to do, there's 2 ways. Quickly, text SWIM, S-W-I-M, to 407-641-2280, or you can go to watersafety.ymcacf.org, or you can just go to one of your local YMCA's and you can register there. That's probably the best way, but there's many ways to be able to register, and they're all free all week long.
And what you just said, Rowdy, we're going to have this, by the way, on clickorlando.com. So in case someone missed it here, you can sign up. There's lots of availability. There's lots of options, lots of whys. What are you going to get if you go? So you show up. It's April 24th. What if you bring your kid there? What happens?
Well, a lot of it is just educating the child and the parent about water safety. That's kind of the start, and then we'll get them in the water and introduce them. A lot of them have never even been in the water as far as learning how to swim. So we'll get them in the water, introduce them to the water, and then we'll talk a little bit about the swim, float, swim, run, jump, run back to the side of the pool. A lot of different skill sets that we'll learn that week. Listen, we're not going to teach your child how to be completely water safe in a week. It's not going to happen. In fact, there's no such thing as being completely water safe.
True.
But we will make them safer in the water by the end of that week.
And that was what I was going to ask you. So by the end of this time, your kid was certainly better off than he or she was.
They'll be more educated, be safer in the water. But our goal is to get them to take swim lessons more and more throughout the summer and throughout the year.
Is it for adults too? Do you have adults?
We have adult swim lessons. There's no doubt about it. But that week is specifically targeted to that 4 to 12-year-old. If you don't know how to swim by the time you're 10 years old, there's a 90% chance you'll never learn how to swim. And we want to change that.
Sure.
We want adults to learn how to swim, but we really want to target those children.
I think the biggest goal there too is get the kids interested in being in the water, getting to be comfortable in the water, but knowing that safety is utmost, and that's instilling the parents too. Education's key. Our association tries to educate the consumers about swimming. We give out literature on all the pools that we build and stuff like that. We give that literature out. It's free. We're giving it to you, and if you want more information, go to FSPA.com or FloridaPoolPro.com, and you can pull up all the safety tips. YMCA has safety tips. Read the tips. They're not just there for the taking. They're there to get educated and learn the proper ways of being safe around the pool.
Yeah. And by the way, Tony does practice what he preaches. I mean, you did this when you built our pool.
That's correct.
And you have a radio show every Saturday afternoon.
The Pool Fanatic.
You drill safety over and over and over.
Well, I do it because I open my show up with who's watching the children, and that's really key. And I'm not talking about who's watching the children just in the swimming pool. That's watching children in life in general, because what you don't want to do, and I find this a lot, and I know you do as well, is complacency.
Yeah.
People get too comfortable.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do. Did you actually close the door? Did you actually close the gate? Yeah. Are you actually watching the kids? Complacency. Don't do it. Let's become comfortable with what we do and be safe.
Are kids learning to swim quicker these days?
I think so, especially here in Florida, because I think if you think about Florida and where we live, water is part of the fabric of who we are, Eric. So I think parents are starting to understand. I think the education is getting out there. I know doing so much work with Tony and the Central Florida YMCA is really helping us get that message out. And I think kids are getting more and more interested in water. I mean, you look at the Olympic Games last summer. We had the most successful Olympics in history for the United States, and a lot of that is because more and more kids have gotten involved with water.
And by the way, you were part of that. That was amazing. We all here at News 6 watched it.
Thank you,
were so
Eric.
proud.
Well, there's
to
1.4 million swimming pools in the state of Florida. We have 1,800 miles of shoreline, 7,700 lakes and streams. Doesn't include retention ponds. So what is Florida? We're surrounded by water. Let's learn how to be safe.
Yeah. Okay. So again, to wrap up, April 24th.
Through the 27th, 4 days, Monday through Thursday, last week of April. Just think last week of April.
Okay. And the ways people can get involved, you talked about texting, Rowdy?
You can text SWIM, S-W-I-M, to 407-641-2280. That will give you information. If you go to local McDonald's, they have it on our tray liners. You get a Happy Meal and you get a tray liner with all our message on there and the way to reach out. Or you go to watersafety.ymcacf, which stands for Central Florida, YMCA CF.org. All the information there, or just go to one of your local Ys here in Central Florida.
And again, on clickorlando.com if you would like to take advantage of this, and you should, by the way. We want to thank again Tony Caruso from the Florida Swimming Pool Association, Rowdy Gaines, our Olympic gold medalist. So glad to have you here this morning. And the whole idea behind this is teaching some 7,000 kids to swim over 4 days. So
thank you, buddy.
Take advantage.
Appreciate
you, gentlemen.
Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for being with us this morning. I'm Eric Flanagan.